It's 7 o'clock Wednesday, July 14th, 2021. I'm Karen Hill, and this is the Townsend Conservation Commission meeting. Going to start with roll call. And because this is an open public meeting, we no longer have to do roll call votes. So it's all in favor, are you opposed, unopposed, that type of thing. So I no longer have to say, Jennifer Eaton, are you in favor of it? And so on. So, that being said,
I just have a question. Sure. Because I've been here since COVID. So, if everybody says it at the same time.
actually, can I take roll call first before we, so we can actually physically start the meeting?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm gonna start with James Gates because you're on the end. So, James Gates is here.
Yes.
Everybody's here except for Joan Savoy. Okay. So, your question, Jennifer, is what we would usually do when we vote, it's like, I would ask all in favor, and if everyone says yes, or everyone would say yes or no, actually everyone would say yes, and then I would ask if there's any opposed, and someone might say yes.
Okay, all right,
And
thank
so
you.
that we would record how it was, or if someone wanted to abstain, so that's how we would do it,
Okay,
normally.
okay, great.
All right, so where are we at? 1.3, topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair 48 hours in advance. It's 4.9, decision from ZBA dated July 8th, 2021 regarding Kevin Smith and Ken Tully and their lot on Warren Road. 4.10, letter from Beth Faxon dated July 12th, 2021, RE Forest Carbon Market Solutions for Mass Audubon. May I get a motion to add these in the appropriate location?
So moved.
And may I get a second?
Second.
All right, I'll get rid of you. So moved. I'll give you a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. Chair's report. Apparently, the selectmen have interviewed for an agent. I don't know where that is. I haven't seen a resume. I don't know anything about it. So I guess we'll stay tuned on that.
Were you able to go to the meeting of the,
With the
was
interview.
that with the interview or anything?
Nope.
Have you had any correspondence from the selectmen on this particular position at all?
I have not.
Would that have been discussed, Veronica, at the staff meeting that she was not allowed to go to? Would that have been?
No,
So
It
it's
was
something we're waiting
discussed.
to surprise us with, or is we're slowly
no,
moving
it's
into it?
been discussed at the Board of Selectmen's meetings. I
But-
believe the past two.
Well, we don't know. We haven't seen a resume. We don't have a name. We don't have anything. So
That
I'm
would
just,
probably be correct.
so
The appointment will be on Friday.
because back in March, actually it was 1st of April, we voted as a commission as to how we were going to interview for the agent position, and it was going to be the board as a whole after the TA vetted the candidate. So, you know, we wasted I don't know how many freaking meetings discussing that, and it's just a little disturbing.
Well, with that being said, I'd like to take a moment to reach out to Veronica. She is the chair of the selectmen, and I asked of her, could you have maybe reached out to anybody on the board to
The board
help
was
us
not
forward
meeting.
with this so we could better work on the problem that really has brought us a lot of grief?
The board received a letter on June 8th saying that unless the selectmen provided you with staff, you would not, there would be no conservation work going on in Townsend. Am I correct with that, Karen?
You did?
Did you write that letter?
I did.
Did the rest of the board vote for that letter?
No?
I see a nod and I heard a no. But in
There was
any
no
event,
vote. There was no vote. My board kept pushing me to do it.
Yes.
So there was no vote.
But there was no vote.
Nope.
In any event, the letter, if your board was pushing you to do it, the letter stated that you expected the Board of Selectmen to provide you with staffing. And therefore, we will. And we are. So there is an appointment on Friday. She's well qualified, and hopefully she'll accept the position. We have to appoint her and then send her a letter of appointment, an offer letter. And should she
So-
accept,
This will be,
then she will start at whatever date we negotiate.
so I'm to understand, I don't wanna get into the semantics of it, but, so I'm to understand, Friday, we will be able to move forward, and
I don't know
good luck,
what you
we'll
mean
have
by
an
that.
agent by then, where we.
Well, I don't know that there will be someone sitting in that chair on Friday, but there will be, if it is voted, it has to be voted at the meeting, at the selectmen's meeting. It's on the agenda. Have you looked at the selectmen's agenda for Friday?
I just double checked to make sure that we were posted this evening. I did not take the time to look at that. I apologize. I will double check.
And we did
and look at
discuss
it.
this at the meeting last week Friday, and we discussed it at, I'm not exactly sure, the meeting before that though as well.
Will we be invited as the board to come to that meeting, or is it
You'll
executive or is
be
it open?
invited to stop in to introduce yourself to her when and if she starts work.
Are you through?
No, but I'm through.
Okay. 1.5, agents report, we don't have one, so. 1.6, review of minutes, approve and release the 5/26/21 minutes. Everyone got those?
Yes.
I didn't get any response back as far as changes, so.
I'll make a motion to approve and release the 5/26/21 minutes.
May I get a second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain because I wasn't at the meeting.
This is not all in favor. I'm going to jump down to 3.1, vote to elect officers. Can I get a motion to appoint someone to chair?
I make a motion that Karen Hill be appointed to chair
I'll
of
second
the
that.
commission.
Could we, before we roll forward with that, I thought we would be able to have a moment to voice how we feel about that right at this point in time.
Well, we have a motion first and we have a second, so now we can have discussion.
Okay, then.
No, now we can have discussion.
Okay,
So, discussion, please.
okay. Now, I think everyone is aware, the 3rd, we will be having a open meeting to decide where we stand with you, Karen.
Mhm.
Am I correct? I
Correct.
mean, is this still on, Veronica,
There's a meeting scheduled.
for the 3rd?
Yes, there is.
And there will
Karen
be,
knows that, I believe.
and there will be a decision one way or another at that meeting, I understand, ma'am.
No, actually, it won't be at the meeting. They have 1 to 10 days to make the decision after the meeting, or hearing.
All right, my question being, we are making a decision to put somebody into a position, we do not know if they will be there. I would rather table it until that decision has been brought forth. And
I'm
we know where we
opposed.
stand with that.
I'm opposed to that
I'm
one.
opposed.
I agree with Jim.
I agree with John.
Okay. So I'm going to abstain from this altogether, so that's 3 to 2. So we will table are we tabling, well, no.
All of the decisions
We
to
can't
put
because
officials.
we don't have a vice chair. And we need a vice chair. So,
We'll put somebody in the position of vice chair on a temporary basis.
As we could put in someone for chair position on a temporary basis as well, Jim.
I would beg to disagree, but you can still stand your ground on that, Aaron.
I do.
I'm agreeing with Ann on that one.
There's no reason to change things, in my opinion, at this time.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and on appointing me as chair.
Correct.
So we had a discussion, you would like to table it, you would like to table it, and you would like to table it. So I need a motion for that in order to do that.
I'll motion to table it.
Second.
Give me a second.
I did not think that I could put forth a motion if it was me bringing forward the tabling
You-
of such.
Absolutely. So, that being said, all in favor
Aye.
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 Abstain?
and opposed?
No. No.
No, yeah, no.
Give me a second, and I'm gonna abstain. Okay, so, may I get a motion to appoint a vice chair? Alrighty. Can I get a motion to appoint a clerk?
I make a motion that we appoint Jones Boy as clerk.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
I have something from Joan on that, if I may.
Could I ask a question? I don't mean to interrupt you, Lance.
That,
Is
not Lance.
John,
Bill, it's Bill.
Mr. Caddigan, I apologize. Where is Joan?
She's not around, she asked to be sent a Zoom link so she could participate, but that's never happened.
We don't have a Zoom link. TCAM's not hosting our Zoom meetings. I'm shocked that Hartley's here because this wasn't, TCAM gave me a notification they weren't hosting our Zoom meeting. So this is an in-person meeting as is.
Okay, well, even before Zoom, we have a facility where someone can call in if they're not in the.
Well, again, she was sent an
Okay.
agenda, there is no Zoom link. I was shocked that she didn't realize it. You know, this is news to me.
All right, that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna, talk about how you run your meetings, but, on the question of the clerk's job, because she's, chair of the Affordable Housing Trust and prepares minutes for that, she respectfully declines being the clerk. So,
The
just,
practice of the
for your eye.
commission is usually the newest person is clerk. That's usually how we've done it in the past.
yeah, like I
So-
said, you can do what you want.
I'm just stating that's how it's been for as long as I can remember.
It's obviously some of the demographics and how some of this has gone on. So what has been practiced in the past, I don't feel as though we need to bring it, that we will do it in the present.
Okay?
Does anyone want to volunteer to do the clerk? And is there a reason why Ann does no longer want to do this?
Because I've been clerk since I've been on, and I would like somebody else to take that position.
I just wanted to get a feel of why Ann, that's all.
So I have a motion and a second. So we through with discussion. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, any opposed? Opposed.
Opposed?
Opposed?
I'm gonna vote in favor of this, so it's a tie, so it doesn't matter. Give me a second.
Okay, so it will stand that who?
Actually, I guess technically it goes to the selectmen to make the decision.
Okay.
Actually, the noes have it.
It's 3-3.
I know, so you need a majority. if you don't have a majority,
Then the
noes
selectmen
have-
are the deciding factor.
Not for,
That's-
not for appointments.
That's the way it's been.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was.
Can you cite the,
I think it was
Part
Karen
of the
Chapman, or it
charter.
may have been Jennifer, I don't know, it was someone on the, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was Karen Chapman as chair. Yep, yep, in 2015 possibly.
I was
Maybe
on the
just a little
commission then.
before or after
that you
that, I,
left.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep,
I have no idea. I was on the commission then and I don't remember that.
I do. So,
Also, I'd like to just say about the clerk, a new member being the clerk. I was on the commission for about 20 years, and we did not indicate to new members that they needed to be the clerk. If they chose to, that was fine, but I don't think, Jim, that you were ever made clerk without going for
I
it.
have, Jennifer, as
never was.
difficult as it is for me, I have to go to you and say, I agree. I don't recall the bottom of the totem pole usually being the one.
Being the
I
clerk.
think the clerk was always a hand raise. I mean, or if they wanted to
never was when
volunteer.
I
Madam
Join-
Chair, when I got on the commission, I was made chair because I was,
You mean clerk.
I'm sorry, clerk, right, clerk. I like my chair. I was made clerk when I got on the commission,
So,
Well, that's
Anyway.
fine, but that's not.
because I was the newest member of
But
the
it's
board.
not
so
necessarily.
we're done with
tradition.
this. You didn't
That's
ask to be
fine.
recognized, and we're gonna move on. We had a 7:05 appointment. It's now, I can't read that clock, 7:17. It's a request for an amendment to DEP file 308-667. The applicant is Roger Hilo. The location is 50 Highland Street. The project is to amend the orders of conditions to not require the planting as stated in the orders of conditions. Unfortunately, he cannot be here. The commission all went out and looked at it yesterday. And I pulled out so there's a planting plan that was for mitigation, which was roughly 35 plants. And back when they proposed this, it was a wide open field, and today it's pretty much full of trees and shrubs and grasses and other perennials like,
McCoy.
yes, thank you. So, if he were to try to plant them, he'd have to cut the trees down. There's only 1 or 2 spots that you could probably squeeze in a plant, but it's all vegetated, and the idea was it was to be left alone as is once the planting got done. So he's looking to not have to do the planting because he feels that it would be more detrimental to go in and start digging holes, and even if he did plant things, he's not supposed to touch it. So it's just gonna get smothered by what's there. Not to mention bittersweet that's out there that I'm gonna actually, I would like to put something in that he needs to deal with the invasives, but.
And the floral rose.
Yeah.
I mean, the long and short of it, we were all there for the sidewalk. I don't think Joan was able to make it. It's stable. To put 35 plantings in there in the beginning, I didn't see all of that, and why we even held his feet to the fire for 35 plantings, but the long and the short of it is it's stable. We have a few invasives going on. Mother Nature will do that even if we have 35 plantings of whatever we put in there, because it's in the background area, in the front, et cetera, et cetera. So the long and the short of it is, I mean, it's stable. I don't see any real true worth in doing 35 plantings in there. And let's keep in mind, it's not of the opinion of the owner, it's of the decision of the Conservation Commission to move forward, whether he does or does not put 35 plants in.
Agreed, but that was his thought, was that
Absolutely.
it would be more
Absolutely.
detrimental because he'd have to cut trees down in order to do it.
Right.
So, any other discussion on this?
I have just a question. There was some open space there. It wasn't completely filled in.
Correct.
And I went yesterday, but I hadn't looked at the planting detail,
Mhm.
and it seems pretty specific, comprehensive as far as a subgrade, measurements. There was a reason that they wanted plantings, maybe not all, but
Could
Are
you,
we-
The
could
reason-
you
the
enlighten
reason
us
was
on
act-
subgrade?
Well, you can,
What the
I'm just
concept
reading
about
some
the
of
subgrading
That's
is?
just-
Well, actually, this is something I've never seen before. I'm not gonna talk about something I've never seen before, Jim.
what it shows is how the plant is put in the ground.
I've never seen a plan like this
Yeah.
before.
So
It's an
it just
education
shows,
behind
it just shows a general planting of how plants put in there. This was actually as mitigation, which I had that out. It's a 2-to-1 mitigation for being in the buffer zone, a partial buffer zone. It was like 3,000 square feet of buffer zone. And I thought I had that saved out, but.
There was just, I guess the
Sorry.
point is, there was a little bit of discussion yesterday about recommending an additional planting. Is that still on the table,
Well,
or?
It can be. Again, it was a very small spot, and that's gonna fill in really quick. I mean, back when we were there in 2019, because that's when this was filed, it was wide open. There was nothing there. It was
No.
all,
That's right.
it was all grass.
May 8, 2019.
Yeah. So that all came in the last 3 years.
Okay, I just wanted to ask because this looked really specific and nothing was done to come back on its own.
Yeah. And you know, all the plants on here would have been perfect for the area based on the soil, because it's all sandy soil. So, but again, it grew in with natural vegetation. So, it's up to us to decide if we're okay with that, or if we want more planting, or if we want to do 35 plants in that area. Because these are fairly large shrubs.
Well, it doesn't specify the size though.
I thought
He does give pot dimension in it.
somewhere. Either way, they're not gonna take off. I sent it to you
Yeah,
in an email.
that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Looking at.
so, again, it's up to us to decide if we want to allow them to not have to do this, if we want to give them a waiver. So, any discussion, further discussion?
I feel that the area should be maintained or cut back annually to mitigate that, the bittersweet.
And the floral.
Yes.
Like that was in the notice of intent as something that was to be left naturally. So, I'm a little confused.
So, well, how do we guide homeowners to mitigate the bittersweet?
Right.
Or is it part of, do we amend the order of conditions to
I
say
think
it has to be
Karen made a
removed?
brief comment about enlightening him to how invasive the bittersweet would be and how invasive the floral rose would be. So I think it was her sense of coaching him to a degree to keep an eye on it, understand it's very prolific and it's gonna take off. And we've seen it before in a lot of instances. So a brief education to, I think, homeowner. I don't think it's going to do what it's going to do, whether he puts a lot of plantings in there, it's going to go into a natural direction, so,
But it is stabilized, so.
very much so.
That being said, are we ready to make a motion?
Can I ask a question
Sure.
about invasives?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you noticed, I think that the euonymus, the shrubs between the two driveways, that's all.
It's hideous.
That's all invasive.
It's hideous. I
It
know.
goes right down the power lines.
Yeah.
It goes right down to the power lines.
Yeah,
We
I
were looking
know.
at it.
Well, that's from the
Yesterday.
bushes that were planted up there, they've all.
Yeah, we looked at it yesterday and,
Jamie's right,
Where do you
it is
go?
right
Well,
through the
it's
power
something
lines.
Unitil can take care of. because they have an invasive management plan.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
So they can spray, they can remove it.
It was noted, believe me, it was noted. Okay. So may I get a motion to amend the orders of conditions?
So moved.
Well, back up a little bit here. Is it just to waive the planting or to allow for some form of mowing, in which case he's gonna have to go around all the trees and everything? Or, you know, I wanna nail this down, how does this commission want it to go?
I think the invasives need to be,
So we need to put in a clause that he needs to keep check on the invasives, but
Yes.
to leave everything else alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that? Okay, so can I get a motion to waive the planting, he needs to keep a check on the invasives, and otherwise leave everything alone?
So moved.
Give me a minute. Okay. Can I get a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. May I get a motion to close the hearing?
A motion to close the hearing.
I got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Unanimous. And we have a 7:10 and it's 7:27. This is a continuation of notice of intent DEP, which we have no file number. The applicant is Roger Raposa, I'm sorry, I really messed that up. On behalf of Cemetery and Parks. Boy. And the location is off Jeff Street. The proposed project is the installation of a gate and cedar timbers within riverfront of the Squanicook River.
And you do not have a DEP number on that as of yet?
No, we do not, and as near as I can figure, give me a second. The application is not complete. DEP kicked this back on 5/19 because it wasn't filed electronically. And I don't have any notation in here as to whether a legal notice was posted or the abutters were notified. So, in reality, this shouldn't even be on our agenda, but it was put on our agenda a while back and I just keep moving it forward.
So-
Misa, there's a Misa ruling.
There is a visa ruling. There
BSIP
is.
was able to get the electronic filing. I don't know why DEP is,
I don't know
technologically
either,
retarded.
But I can tell you what DEP sent, you know,
And I'm not.
and I know Roger was sent this too. Yeah,
No, we got notified, and I worked with Beth Faxon to make sure that all the documents were electronically available, and we sent DEP the link so they could download them themselves, so they'd have electronic copies. So I'll call DEP tomorrow
because
and
again, they
see
still
if I
haven't
can talk them
acknowledged it.
through it.
They still haven't acknowledged it with a file number, so we can't do anything without a file number. Plus, was there a legal notice done?
No, is that our responsibility? I mean, my board publishes legal notices for applicants.
We don't.
You don't?
We don't.
No, it's
Well,
the
we-
applicant's.
It's the applicant's
responsibility.
responsibility. In the past, what we would have done was, an applicant would have written a check payable to the newspaper. We would have written the legal notice, and then we would have sent them both off to the newspaper.
Yeah, that's the
But now-
process I remember.
But now, because everything's electronic, and because of COVID mostly, we just give the applicant the legal notice, and they can send it off to the newspaper and pay for it however they pay for it. It's the same
I see.
thing, but
And is a single notice in the paper adequate, or is it?
yes,
Okay,
And same with the abutters list, that's the applicant's responsibility.
yep.
so we have to notify the abutters, is it certified mail,
Yeah,
It's-
return receipt?
Yes,
Okay.
and you have to get the certified abutters list from the assessor's office.
Our admin assistant actually has that,
Okay,
and she's ready to put a newspaper.
so there's a timeline for that too.
We were waiting to hear, she said, I'm waiting to hear, that's why I was surprised we put it on the agenda for tonight. Because we hadn't heard yet that we needed to notify the abutters yet.
Well, I told you
So-
that on the 26th of May, that you needed to do that, and you needed to,
So that was a go without the MISA filing?
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
we
Because
weren't aware of
Lisa's
that.
usually.
This is my first camp out with
Right,
conservation.
Lisa's usually
so-
slow, so, and they come in at the very last minute, so, yeah, that all has to happen before we have the
Then we're ahead
hearing,
of the game,
so,
because Misa's already ruled,
Yeah.
so we're ahead of the game.
yes,
done
you
with
are.
Lisa.
Usually
And
slow.
actually, he was ahead of the game when he
No.
filed too, so, you know, this, strange things happen, but, just saying, miracles do happen.
So regardless of, without the DEP number,
It's just sitting here.
it's moot right now for the
Yes,
conversation.
I would have liked to take no action, but we can't even take no action because we don't have a DEP
We
file
don't have a
number.
DEP file
So-
number, so we're having a conversation with something we can't move forward to. Does everybody know what this is involved? This is the grant money that was received to do a stabilization restoration on the side of the Squanicook River on Adams Dam, is this correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and a gate.
And again,
Well, the gate foremost, to probably keep the vehicles out of there so that the deterioration doesn't keep on going.
Correct, and keep the trash off and down.
Now, I'm,
Yeah, and don't squash the turtles.
with such wisdom you say.
okay, so,
So without a DEP filing number, is it okay to get everything else out of the way and done first?
yes,
We can notify abutters, we can put it in the paper, we can do
Yep.
whatever we need to do.
correct.
You can
And-
move forward with
All right.
only so much of it until the DEP number comes through for us. We need to get that.
But yeah, if you reach out to DEP and find out,
I'll find out what's
because
going
I
on.
checked it yesterday, and it doesn't show.
It doesn't show yesterday? Okay,
I didn't have time to check today, but, you know,
all right.
so,
Now, we gonna need to do any site walks or anything before the next meeting, because the next meeting, I'd like to just put this to bed and go.
well, that'd be fine if you have a DEP file number. Without a
Okay.
DEP file number, we can't make a decision. So, that's gonna hold you up.
All right,
So a site walk would be nice.
so can we do that before you get the DEP number?
We can.
Okay.
So, when does the commission want to do a site walk?
When it stopped raining.
And I can stop cutting
Not much
grass.
chance of that.
Okay, be helpful.
Monday? Monday?
Monday. Give me a second. Oh, boy.
At least that way we can try to tie everything up before.
Right, agreed. Where are we?
So when you move forward with this to do the stabilizing and somewhat restoration, you're limited to only so much money?
Yes,
And you're limited to a specific amount of bank area?
correct.
And it's been specified as to the area that you're going to do it in? As it stands, will the money that you receive be ample enough to stabilize that area?
To do with the timbers that we wanna do it with, yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so does Monday work for people?
I have a doctor's
I have a commitment at 9 that I wasn't unaware of. I actually slipped my mind, but I can do a little later, 10:30 or 11.
I have an 11 o'clock appointment, doctor's appointment.
Tuesday?
Okay, Tuesday's better?
Tuesday's
I'm
good,
open
yeah.
Tuesday.
Tuesday's much better.
What's the date?
Yeah,
The 20th.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Tuesday, 20th, what time would you like to do that?
9.
30.
9:30? Does that work for everybody?
Good for you, gents.
As it stands, it's gonna be 9:30 on Tuesday,
Yes.
and we will meet in the parking lot near the old trestle, or should we go down?
below to the gate first, whatever you wanna do.
Behind the,
It's your
Farmers
game,
Exchange.
so which way, where would it be best for
I'd
you to
say-
walk us through, to show us
I
and
think
talk
the
it through?
parking lot to walk through, because that's where you can really see how,
the back
the
wall.
benefit of doing this probably.
Okay. And just so everybody knows, that's the dirt lot that's over there at the end of the
Yep.
road. Right?
Where all the trash
I'm
is being
familiar
dumped all
with
the
it.
time.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I can't even ask for a motion to continue because actually, you know what, let's just do it. How about, can I get a motion to continue?
Make motion to continue till our next meeting. I don't have a number.
I don't
Would it
either.
be easy to just table it instead of continue it?
I'm gonna cover my,
Table and, okay, I apologize for cutting.
okay? And can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. All right, so we have 3.2, vote to pay MACC annual dues in the amount of $293 from the dues account.
Motion to pay MACC annual dues, $293 from the dues account.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Roger.
Thanks, guys, have a good night.
Thank you. Any opposed? All unanimous,
And that's, are we up to speed again with the dues?
as long as,
The
oh
last meeting, something didn't get put in on time.
no, we're all set.
What-
We're all set.
And we have plenty of money?
Yep, new fiscal year.
Okay.
This brings us to 4.0 correspondence. A letter from planning board regarding Campbell Farm open space development plan, proof of conveyance of the open space parcel. Everybody got that emailed. 4.2, the legal notice from the ZBA, public hearing notice, 7/30/21. Kevin Smith and Ken Tully, RE Warren Road, and their common driveway, which you jump down a little further, and that was approved as 4.9, dated July 8th, 2021. 4.3, letter from MACC, dated 7/1/21, RE the annual dues.
We're all set there.
4.4, forest cutting plan, DCR, Pheasant Hill Road. 4.5, letter from Mass Audubon and DCR dated 6/11/21 regarding forest carbon market solutions, a guide for Massachusetts municipalities. We actually have two of these because the planning board sent us their copy too. So if anyone wants to read them,
Yeah.
be my guest. 4.6, letter from Roger Hilo dated July 6, 2021, in regards to his amending his COC for Highland Street. 4.7, public records request from Joan Savoy dated 7/1/21. 4.8, public records request from Joe Shank dated 7/1/21.
I'm sorry, go back to that one, please.
Which one?
4.7, 4.8, we're looking for record request from Mademoiselle Savoy and Sir Joe Shank.
Yes.
Okay.
And everybody got a copy of that in their emails.
So we would have all had to go see Kathy for whatever correspondence needed to be turned in. Mrs. Spofford?
You lost me. I responded to it, I responded to Kathy Spofford with what the public records requested, and she then sends it out to the requester. Yes,
Okay, I suppose we're in discussion with this?
if you want.
I would, because my question would be, what are the particulars, what are the specific forms of communication they are looking for? Am I to submit text messages? Is
No.
that a part, are my personal text messages being requested? By
Mine
Mr.
were.
Shank or Mrs. Savoy?
Mine were, yours were not.
So you were subpoenaed for your text
No.
messages?
No, they were just requested.
And you turned them over?
I did not, because a private text message is not a public record.
Right.
So, in other words, if I was requested text messaging, I would have to reply
It's a
that,
private text message. It's not a matter for public records.
okay.
Anything else?
I am curious as to why one of my selectmen and one of my fellow commissioners, Mrs. Savoy, requested these, why would two people have a request for the same thing?
I can't answer that. I'm neither of them, so. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
And we shall move on. 4.10, letter from Beth Faxon dated July 12, 2021, regarding the forest carbon market solution thing, so we have double copies. Items for the next meeting. I'm not really sure what's gonna go on. I have on the agenda a meeting for July 21st. And the reason for that was because apparently the newspaper's on vacation for 2 weeks, so we couldn't get legal notices put in. And I recommended to two people that they reach out to either the Lowell Sun or some other newspaper, and they haven't gotten back to me as to whether they're gonna wait until the 28th or they wanna be on for the 21st. So, I don't know yet. So, Friday, hopefully I'll know, because I have to set an agenda. Otherwise, our next meeting will probably end up being the 28th, so
So as it stands, is this the best way to put it in for the meeting? July with a question mark?
maybe.
Okay.
I don't, I don't know what to do because of the newspaper. The newspaper really messed everything up, to be honest. So,
So as it stands, it'll be on hold, you will notify us?
we definitely have a meeting for the 28th, irregardless. The 28th is our usual regularly scheduled meeting. I was going out of cycle to try to get these people processed. And a couple of, well, the two of them said, well, we could just wait till the 28th. And I was like, whatever you want to do, let me know. Just let me know.
Okay, that's
So-
good.
That's where I left it. 6.0, advertisements and conferences. The Suasco virtual presentation, I really recommend that you all do this virtual thing because I think this is gonna be very beneficial. They're talking about trees and buffer zones and resource areas.
Is it a lot to do with the riparian and,
It's whatever buffer zones. You know, this is something we've been seeing an awful lot with older homes that are in jurisdiction with trees hanging over the house and, you know, the trees just keep getting bigger and bigger and the houses are getting dwarfed by these trees. So this, I think, would be extremely helpful if as many of us can participate.
excuse me. We're having a meeting, could you
Excuse
keep,
me.
you've been doing it all the way through the meeting, sir. I'd
Sorry.
appreciate a little courtesy to this board.
I'm
Could you
sorry.
please show some respect?
Mhm.
Thank you.
So again, I would highly encourage you all to take this. It's free. Just, you know,
I'm in, I'll sign up on that
Where
one.
is it? Access?
it's a Zoom, I
It's a
sent
virtual.
you the link,
Okay, then I must have
but
it.
I will resend it.
Thanks.
So, actually, I resend it closer to the 22nd. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
And again, 7.0, our next meeting, maybe the 21st, but definitely the 28th. So I realize that's not helpful, but I will let you know on Friday when I know more.
Can I snitch this one?
Yep.
Thank you.
So it brings us to 8.0, the magical part of the night,
Make a motion to adjourn?
at 7:44. And can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Very good then, unanimous. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Madam Chair.
and have a wonderful evening. Oh, you know what? Before y'all leave, I need signatures. I didn't make that, a copy.
You're not gonna come to our house and put that effort in to have us sign?
You're all here, you're all gonna sign,
But it was nice when you came to visit.
wasn't it? What is it for? This is for the,